Global, I'm David Eads. Now, he has a mandate to act, and he's not wasting time doing so. Narendra Modi, newly installed Prime Minister of India, has held his first talks with Pakistan's Premier Nawaz Sharif, an opportunity to put behind them the rancour, hostility and deep distrust of recent years in the name of peace and progress. Well, from the moment this meeting was announced, observers have been itching to see just how much progress can be made in the first instance. And we'll be asking two leading analysts in the course of the programme. First, on a pretty historic meeting, Sanjoy Majumdar reports.
It's being described as a historic meeting, an opportunity to break years of hostility. Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif meeting India's newly elected and powerful leader, Narendra Modi. Their talks lasted 40 minutes, touching on trade and on India's concerns on terrorism. Mr. Sharif said the two sides had agreed to build on the momentum.
We agreed that our meeting in New Delhi should be a historic opportunity for both our countries. This provides us the opportunity of meeting the hopes and aspirations of our peoples that we will succeed in turning a new page in our relations.
The Pakistani leader was a surprise guest at Mr. Modi's inauguration on Monday. Mr. Sharif had been personally invited by him, along with 7 other regional leaders. Many are seeing it as a bold move.
Narendra Damodar Das Modi.
And Mr. Modi has promised now to visit Pakistan in turn. Relations between the two sides were badly hit by the Mumbai terror attacks of 2008, which were carried out by militants from Pakistan. India wants Pakistan to hand over those behind the attack, something that Islamabad says it's unable to do without stronger evidence. So Nawaz Sharif heads back to Pakistan after a good first meeting, but little else. After all, the issues between India and Pakistan are far too complex to be resolved after one quick chat. But both Mr. Sharif and Mr. Modi have a reputation of being pragmatic politicians, and in the eyes of many, are best placed to take this relationship forward. Sanjoy Majumdar, BBC News, Delhi.
Neelam Deo is the director of Gateway House. That's an independent foreign policy think tank based in Mumbai, and she joins us now from Delhi. Neelam Deo, thanks very much for joining us. A lot of expectation, hope, interest, intrigue maybe in this first meeting. Do you think it achieved as much as it could have done?
Well, I don't think there was too much expectation. In fact, a lot of the early commentary was about how it would be a getting to know you meeting and the two men getting a measure of each other. I think it's important to recall that Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was one of the SAARC Prime Ministers invited, and the others were equally important but may not be of as much media interest and focus. I do think the meeting is important and perhaps covered more ground than had been anticipated. I think there was the expectation, and I think that may have been fulfilled, of India's new Prime Minister putting forth India's concerns more forthrightly than they have in the past.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I just want to bring that point in because the Mr. Modi's spokesman talked of the Prime Minister demanding Pakistan honour its commitment to tackling terrorism grown on its own soil, and one might have thought there would be a more soft-peddling sort of language.
Well, I think that everything that has been seen of Mr. Modi during the election campaign and in his years as the Chief Minister of Gujarat has been that he's quite explicit in what he means to say, and he seems to have been quite explicit in this one. Of course, Mr. Nawaz Sharif's own statement was quite short, reticent, as were the remarks by the Foreign Secretary of India in her press briefing. But I think that even if they have not covered very much ground, they have come to the conclusion that the foreign secretaries of the two countries will meet. And I think that India's concerns have been set forth explicitly and quite with great clarity.
Right. I mean, it's easy to start on the front foot, isn't it, obviously, for a new leader. Getting something substantive on, whether it's on Mumbai, whether it's on Kashmir, let alone trade and the economy, is going to be a tough old call, isn't it?
Well, I think there is the prospect that Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif of Pakistan is believed to be very interested in business, is a businessman himself, and has said before the Indian elections concluded that they would like to give non-discriminatory access to the new government when it comes in. Well, that is something we would have to see. I think that trade and economic may actually be easier for them to move on than some of the more complex issues relating to terrorism, as well as the issues relating to Kashmir.
And it's fair to say, isn't it, this is a Prime Minister with a mandate that few of his immediate predecessors have been able to enjoy in terms of strength. That presumably puts him in a pretty strong position, certainly over the first few months of his time in office.
Well, there's no question that his victory was unprecedented, and the fact that his own party, the BJP, has a parliamentary majority makes it quite exceptional. And of course, that also gives him the mandate to move on a range of issues, domestic and foreign.
Neelam Deo, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on Global. Ukraine's government says it has recaptured